I know it's been out for a while, but I finally got around to watching the movie Blonde. After watching it, my initial thoughts were,
What the hell was that?
I'm not the only one that thinks this, since the movie has been poorly received by the general public. But oddly enough, I thought about it some more, and thought back to the movie Jackie from 2016. Although they are about completely different women, they are similar in a few ways. Aside from being biopics about famous women in American history, they have also a specific art style to them. They deal with a protagonist going through trauma, and both women knew JFK, at least biblically. I definitely would have mentioned these movies in my previous Anastasia video if I watched Blonde sooner, but consider this to be a spiritual sequel in an odd way. I think there are at least several reasons why Jackie is a better biopic movie than Blonde. First, and probably the most important, is that Jackie is based on well-documented historical events, and the interview that Theodore H. White had with her years later after her husband was assassinated. However, Blonde is based on the book of the same name, but it's a biographical work of fiction. This begs the question, why would someone adapt a work of fiction about arguably the most iconic American woman of the 20th century? This leads me to the intentions of the directors. The intention of Pablo Larraín was that he wanted the story to focus just on Jackie Kennedy. They did not film any scenes in the script that she was not in. He also wanted to make a movie that was both as historically accurate as possible, while also being respectful to the real woman. But this is where the director of Blonde clearly did not respect Norma Jean, aka Marilyn Monroe. Andrew Dominik's take on Marilyn Monroe is odd to say the least. I get that the actress's life tends to be romanticized by the public, and I was fine with shedding light on the tragic things in her life, but the way the director goes about it just comes off as just too mean-spirited. Even the artistic style is also bizarre at times, where it gets more and more bonkers as it goes. It also changes aspect ratio way too many times. I get from going to black and white to color throughout the story, but the aspect ratio change was just way too jarring. Looking at Jackie, that movie sticks to a specific aspect ratio for most of the movie. It does change aspect ratio and go to black and white at least once, but that was to recreate a real-life TV special featuring Jackie Kennedy. Jackie also helps with showing both the bad and the good things that happened during her time with her husband, and it doesn't feel like a hit piece. Finally would have to be the acting. Both of them are good actresses that I like. The problem with Anna de Ames is her accent. Even though she went through a complicated special makeup process to look like the actress, and she did look like her in many scenes, but the illusion is shattered when she starts talking.
Are you sure? I mean, I'm so jumpy. You belong. Just that alone is worth anything. This isn't your room. You go back in there and go to sleep.
I've liked her in other movies, but her natural Cuban accent took me out of the moment every time. It was like the equivalent of a digital recreation of Arnold Schwarzenegger in Terminator Genisys. Although he looked extremely realistic in many shots, the whole thing falls apart as soon as he starts to talk.
Nice night for a walk.
Wash day tomorrow. Nothing clean, right?
Nothing clean. Right.
With Natalie Portman, she did have an accent that was very similar to Jackie Kennedy's, and her voice change registered much better.
Objects and artifacts last far longer than people, and they represent important ideas, history, identity, beauty.
What also helped was that she did not need to go through a complicated makeup process to look like the former First Lady. So anyway, thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe.